Welcome back to Fireside Yankees. My name is Alex. Today we're talking about Gleyber Torres. I think it's time we had a nice little conversation about why Gleyber Torres should be extended. Now, he's been one of the more polarizing players on this team. I know a lot of people have claimed he's lazy. A lot of people have looked at him and said, hey, this guy shouldn't be a long-term piece for the Yankees. But the truth is simple. He is doing the best he can this year, and he's doing it better than most of the players on this team. And ultimately, he's actually showing signs of progress and development and growth, which is something that we aren't seeing a lot of across this roster. Now, I'll ask you this. Why on earth would we go and get rid of one of our best offensive players right now? Why on earth are we going to subject ourselves to the pain and misery of what could be an alternative that doesn't actually replicate the same offensive attributes that Gleyber Torres is showing this season? Ask yourself that. I think it's a pretty clear narrative here that there's kind of something out there that's going against Gleyber, but the truth is he deserves to be a Yankee for a long time, and I think he's going to get a long-term deal. Now, to give you some context, he has one more year of arbitration until he hits free agency in 2025. He's getting paid $10 million this year. For a player that has the most home runs at second base in the American League East, you tell me he seems like good value. He's about an average defensive player this year. Yes, he's made some mistakes. Yes, his base running has been a little bit spotty at times, but I don't think you're going to find many other players on this Yankee roster that's hitting 270. Let alone a 335 on base percentage. It's just not happening for this Yankee team this year. You're not seeing the level of production you'd like to across the board. The 18 home runs stands out, 48 RBIs. He's stolen 9 bags. But the one variable that really stands out to me is a 13.5% strikeout rate, guys. 22.6% strikeout rate last year has dipped down to 13.5%. That's showcasing a pretty impressive variable that indicates he could be taking steps forward in terms of his growth, in terms of actually seeing the ball better, in terms of making better and more high-quality contact. Gleyber Torres is showcasing growth, development at 26 years old. We saw the really great seasons back in 2022 when he hit 38 homers, he hit 278, 337 OBP, 125 WRC+. We said, why aren't we getting this Gleyber Torres in 2020, 2021, 2022? It starts to get a little bit better. In 2023, starting to showcase what he did earlier on in his career. Why are we going to get rid of him right as he's hitting his peak, right as he's trying to get back to where he was, but he's doing it at a more consistent rate now. He's performing exceptionally well in the month of August. We just started here, 22 at-bats, a nice little sample size. He's hitting 545 with a 615 OBP, 955 slugging rate, and a 1.570 OPS with 2 homers, 4 RBIs, and 4 walks, and only 2 strikeouts. Again, 22 at-bats, 2 strikeouts. The strikeout rate is down. He's performing excellent offensive baseball right now on a team that desperately needs run production. We're one of the worst teams in baseball when it comes to the runners in scoring position, and he's actually performing quite well with RISP 293. He's hitting with a 372 OBP, 493 slugging, 865 OPS. So why don't you tell me right now why people want to get rid of Gleyber Torres? He should be a long-term option at second base on this team. He's one of the best second basemen in baseball. The Yankees, Miami Marlins were talking about a potential deal. Brian Cashman asked for the moon. They didn't actually get a deal done because we wanted multiple high-end starting pitchers or guys with a lot of potential, Braxton Garrett and Edward Cabrera. Obviously, Miami wasn't going to bite there, but Gleyber Torres, we're asking a lot for him because he has more upside. Again, he's 26 years old. I don't know why people want to get rid of a 26-year-old that's starting to showcase the potential we know that he has. Now, Gleyber Torres in the month of July, he was still very solid, hit 275. Now, 306 OBP certainly isn't anything to write home about, had 4 homers and 12 RBIs, but now he's starting off August, following the trade deadline, wasn't moved. He's showing why the Yankees deserve to keep him around and why he justifyingly is gaining himself some ground in terms of a long-term extension. Now, I don't know what that'll look like. It could be 15, 16, 17 million dollars per season, but you're getting a guy that's young. How many times have the Yankees went out and signed older guys that aren't providing the value we necessarily need at this point in time? Guys that aren't carrying their weight, guys that we can't depend on and trust, or that they're aging out of their prime. Gleyber Torres hasn't even reached his prime yet. He might be just at the beginning of it, as far as we know. Why are we trying to get rid of a player like that right now? It doesn't make any sense to me. Looking at his defensive values, my friends, looking at his defense this year specifically, he's about average, as I've referenced earlier. He's played 841.2 innings, has a .976 fielding percentage, has 1 defensive run saved, no outs above average. Again, it's nothing to write home about, but he had 9 defensive runs saved last year over 1,082.2 innings. He's a good defensive player, guys. Yes, he's made some mistakes running the bases. Yes, he's made some seemingly lackadaisical plays in the infield, but at the end of the day, he's a much better offensive player than people are giving him credit for. He's getting better. His strikeout rate is going down. His hard hit metrics are looking good. And speaking of his power, let's take a look at that for a second. He has a 39.3% hard hit rate, 8.6% barrel rate. He has an 89.5 average exit velocity and a career best 112.4 max exit velocity. He's hitting the ball harder than ever. He's showcasing that power. He's showcasing a better eye. He's showing discipline and swing decisions that are above average. Why are we trying to move a player when he's finally hitting his prime? What is it with fans that want to get rid of players that are just about to reach their prime and reach their peak potential? I don't understand it. Why do we only, go for moves that are these aging guys that are rentals or not? Like, let's keep the guys that are performing well. Let's keep the guys that are playing well in a down season. Gleyber's one of the only players that has elevated his game. Imagine if everybody was playing well around him. Imagine if he was in the middle of a great Yankee season and everyone was performing and the momentum was solid and everyone had confidence. He's managed to fend off the adversity and actually perform well in a year where everybody else is struggling, aside from Judge when he's healthy. I think that's something to be really, really excited about. So a guy that's not bending over and letting the bad narratives, the bad news, the bad performances get to him. Instead, he's actually standing strong and showcasing what he can do. That's something to be proud of, and I think that we should keep players like this, and we shouldn't be trying to get rid of him at this point as Yankee fans, and I think that we should really support Gleyber Torres in his growth because he's showing some really nice statistical and metrics that are promoting what he could do in the future, guys. So I'd love to hear your perspectives below, as always. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Yankees episode.